What's up, guys? Tussie with the Spiz. And today, hey, I see so many people in different Facebook community groups that post in the groups, hey, how do I deal with this 1-star review? And I take a look at the review, and it's consistently, it's not about the results from chiropractic. It's not about the front desk being a you know what. It always comes down to I got effed over or screwed over, they think, on their billing. And it made me, and me and Karen Hanna, I got Jeff Dale and Karen Hanna here, founders of Bushido Billing. It made me think back to my days when I was running my practice, and Kim was the Karen, what we call the Karen of billing for me. She come in all nervous, shaky, because she knew I was going to rip her one because, man, I dealt with that. And Karen, we were talking about this the other day, and I thought this would be a great thing for January because January is a fresh start for people, and it's a great time for them to start looking at different options for them with their billing. You guys have disrupted the industry for chiropractors with making billing great again. One of the things that you guys do is you're really a growth partner. So tell me about where that sparked for you and what you saw, because there's an origin story with that, I think, with you.
Yeah, so really with that of why Bushido Billing is a growth partner is because how many times if you as the doctor, you're listening to your staff, you check somebody out and they're like, "Oh, Susie, we'll just get you next time. We're not quite sure." Or they're like, "Hey doc, can you come look at this ledger?" And that's one super embarrassing as the doctor because your staff should be autonomous to work, without your help standing over them all the time. But
Ooh.
your ledgers should really be clean and consistent so you feel comfortable knowing exactly what you're going to be charging the patient, if they have a credit, if they have a bigger balance. Like at least in my office personally, I never should ever have to bill a patient for over, let's say $100, let's say $200, because our ledgers are super clean. We work our AR. We don't have any outstanding balances that we haven't followed up on our insurance claims or anything like that. Like we know, like confidently, like this is how much this patient owes today, or if they owe monthly, like depending on what their plan is. And so really, if you have a bad billing company, and that's usually what we hear a lot on discovery calls, or people who are kind of picking our brain to see if Bushido's a good fit for them or we're a good fit for them as well, is the AR is not being followed up. Our ledgers are a disaster. We don't know what money's there, what money's not there. And it's just, yeah, so and that can't happen. And that's why, of course, working with Bushido, we work on the AR, we make sure your ledgers are pretty. Like you shouldn't have hundreds of pages of AR. And we have some clients that we've taken over that's where we started, and now their AR is quite manageable. But
So I
it's
mean, you just brought up memories that stirred for me on this because I remember going up with my ex and going into the front with like patients and being like, "What do we do here?" Like, and we would write it off. I think 90% of the time because you just don't want to be the asshole that has
Yep.
to be like you didn't have your shit organized, and people are like, "Well, I don't want to come back and see you." Jeff, this leads me. I mean, I'm sure you're in alignment. You're not going to tell your founding partner. I disagree. No, this is as an office manager. That's even more, I think, gut wrenching to deal with. Talk to me about what you see Bushido Billing solving for the office manager in that regard.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things we always look at is when somebody comes to us on an initial discovery call and we're talking to them, like, what, why now, why us? And you mentioned it really right in the beginning, Tristan, is the pain of a 1-star review because billing's all messed up, and we see it over and over and over again, and it happens because it's like if ledgers aren't clean, as Karen mentions, and AR is a mess, it just creates such a problem where you look at a patient and it's like, it shows that they owe, some random amount, right? $131.24. But the person at the front can't track why. They don't know where it came from. They don't even know if it's real because a lot of times it may not be. It may have been something that should have been written off 4 years ago, but it's just sitting there in the AR. And so it creates this environment where the person at the front is not confident enough to tell the patient what they owe. And as you mentioned, so the response is just let's just sweep it under the rug and we'll deal with it next time. And eventually that creates a massive problem where you've got all this outstanding money and it just nobody's confident enough to collect in it.
I look at billing as, especially with the out of network, it's a courtesy in a way, but it's an inherent courtesy that needs, like, for the patient experience, right? Like, there's the docs that we know that are like, oh, I just give them the super bill, and like we know where that lands. Like, it's like this is something that you have software, you have your EHR, you have your billing company that can do this. Karen, what do you think separates, I guess we'll call it your USP, when it comes to getting the job done? Because we hear these horror stories of these billing managers and billing accounts. Like, we know people personally that we know that just came over to you guys that were like, I've seen the email chains, and these billing companies sound like disasters, just like the ones that I use that used to be afraid to talk to me. Why why aren't they afraid to talk to you guys? Why aren't you afraid to talk to them? Why are you getting such great results? What's the difference?
Yeah, so really with us, our kind of a secret weapon, but we built our company off of communication.
Yeah.
Because we as a company, just internally as well as externally, we're super transparent with everyone. So everyone knows, like, okay, this is what you expect, this is what's going to happen next, this is what we need from you. We send weekly, well, sometimes daily, but consistently weekly emails. We have a something called a weekly update that has a list of everything that we've done, that's in processing, that's needs to be followed up by the clinic, that, so you know exactly where your money is. So you're not like, where did that claim go? So really for us, like, that's what makes us so different and so much better than any other billing company out there, is our communication is consistent, it's black and white, and it's easy to follow, especially for the clinic doc, for the office manager, even, let's say something happens to the office manager where that person is no longer available to help. It's so clean and concise that you know exactly, like, that person picking up, okay, well, this was done by the billing company. It's just one less headache that people have to worry. But our team is so close knit with the clinics that they're assigned to and they work with, because it's not like they jump around with different team members on our team. They have one, sometimes two, depending on the size of their clinic, but they have one main person that they go to, and that's the person that's always going to tell them weekly, this is what's going on. They'll reach out to them. So having that consistent communication is huge. And it even feels like our team member is one of their employees. So that cohesiveness is just, it's right there. We build a relationship with our clients. They're not just, a dollar in, dollar out kind of thing for us. But we actually build real good, solid relationships with our clients.
Karen Hanna is also known for building the program How to Hire a Superstar, and it makes me think of, you're only as strong as your weakest link. You don't want your billing department to be your weakest link, right? And so, Jeff, for someone who's looking to come over with you guys, what are the next steps look like from that discovery process? What should they expect and experience with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first step with us is to schedule a discovery call. It's free to do that. Usually about 30 minutes long. It's done with our chief operations officer. Her name is Sarah. And basically during that call, we ask a lot of questions. We try and get an understanding of what's going on. Again, why Bushido? Why now? And are we the right company to help? Are we the right billing company to help? And can we get you out of this potential mess that you may be in? And ultimately, yeah, I think the thing that we're just super convicted about is that a billing company should make you more money
Mm,
than it costs you to work with them.
yep.
And that's the way we see it, and that's the value that we try to bring to our clients. And so, I think getting on that discovery call and finding out, can we help and how can we help, that's just the best way to start. And then of course we give all the details on what that looks like, and how you work with Bushido billing.
Well, I don't know any other billing company I'd ever endorse or recommend. So, guys, if you are taking that fresh start this new year to start looking inward at some of your ledger issues, the cleanliness of that, like Karen talked about, are you concerned about the one-star reviews and stopping that? You want to increase referrals, increase PVA, get on with Bushido billing. In fact, if you get on with Bushido billing in this month and going into basically Valentine's Day, the Spiz is going to get you back $500 rebate after 90 days of being on with Bushido billing. So you get a little bit of extra kickback incentive. And that's awesome. So thank you guys for jumping on. Anything else you want to add to this on the PVA referral experience side before we close out?
Just one thing real quick. So if you're looking and you're trying to figure out how good of a job are you or are your team doing at bringing in the money that's being generated, super simple report to run. I recommend everybody do this. We track it monthly in our clinic, but it's just simply take a look at what your total net production is. What's your production after write-offs? And then
Mm,
how much is actually being generated in revenue for the clinic. And you want that percentage to be as high as close to 100 as possible. And so, for example, in our clinic, we just closed out 2023, and our percentage of money that we had produced versus collected was over 99%.
yeah.
And that's for a clinic that takes insurance. So you want to, that's your best indicator. Is your billing company doing a good job? Is your front desk doing a good job? Because sometimes we see people are, 80% versus 90 plus. And if
You're
that's the
already giving
case,
away a third of that to the government. Jesus. Wow.
yeah, if that's the case, that's why I say Bushido billing a good billing company can make you more money than it costs to work with them. So
I love it. Thank you guys for jamming with me today.
Awesome. Thank
absolutely.
you,
Thank you,
Tristan.
Tristan.